You ever notice how silence can feel louder than noise? That's what it's been like lately with Andrea. We've been married 7 years, lived in this cookie-cutter suburb just outside Columbus, Ohio, and up until 6 months ago, I'd have bet my retirement savings we were rock solid. You know, regular married life. Shared grocery lists, shared Netflix passwords, shared taxes. But lately, the only thing we've been sharing is silence. She used to hum while brushing her teeth, laugh out loud at her crime shows. That woman could make folding laundry feel like an Olympic sport. Now, she's quiet. Not mad quiet, worse. Indifferent quiet. Like I've been demoted to roommate with legal benefits. Andrea works in finance. Real estate investment group downtown. Fancy title. Long hours. Even longer happy hours, apparently. And for a while, I swallowed it. Late meetings. Team dinners. We're understaffed, and Q4 is brutal. Okay, sure. But after the third time she came home smelling like a new bar, not sweat and stress, I started clocking it. Still, I didn't want to be that husband. The one sniffing her collar and following her car. I'm not built like that. I played it cool. Too cool, maybe. Until the printer incident. It was a Sunday. Football on low, chicken wings in the oven. The kind of weekend where you don't wear pants with buttons. Andrea was working from home. Her laptop was open, glasses on, looking like a Pinterest ad for responsible women in tech. I asked if she wanted me to print something for her. She said no, but 20 minutes later, the printer started chirping from my home office. Not her office. Mine. Now, our printer is Wi-Fi enabled, and it's synced to all our devices. I assumed she'd hit the wrong one. No big deal. I walk over, grab the page out of the tray, and what do I see? A calendar. Not a work schedule, not a meeting invite. A printed version of her personal Google Calendar. I wasn't trying to snoop. I was trying to toss it in the trash. But something caught my eye, one of those color-coded entries with a heart emoji. The title? Ash Meeting Blue Heart, for 15 at Oakhurst. First of all, Andrea doesn't use emojis. She thinks they're juvenile. Second, Oakhurst isn't a place you meet a client. It's a golf club. Members only, exclusive, pretentious as hell. And she hates golf. I stared at that paper like it had insulted my mother. Ash? She doesn't know anyone named Ash. Definitely not someone you meet at a golf club on a Thursday at 4:15, when you're supposed to be stuck in some quarterly strategy meeting. I didn't say anything then. I just folded the paper like it was nothing and slid it into my drawer. But the seed was planted. And once a seed like that's in your head, it starts growing roots fast. The rest of the week? Tension. I didn't ask questions, and she didn't offer answers. She was texting more, laughing less. Started taking her phone into the bathroom like she was guarding nuclear codes. And every night, she went to bed before me, which never used to happen. That woman needs 12 pillows and ambient noise to sleep. Suddenly, she was lights out at 9:30? Weird. The next time she worked late, I cleaned the house. That's my move when I'm anxious. Just away the feelings. I was halfway through vacuuming when I found one of her earrings under the couch. A little gold hoop, nothing special. But here's the thing. It wasn't hers. Andrea's allergic to cheap metals. She only wears gold or platinum. That hoop was one of those fake gold ones from a mall kiosk. My wife wouldn't touch that stuff. And no, before you ask, there's no other woman in our house. No visiting friends. No nieces playing dress-up. Just me and Andrea, and a now unaccounted for earring. I asked her about it 2 nights later, casually. Hey, babe, you lose an earring under the couch? I asked, holding it up like a forensic tech. She didn't even look. Not mine, she said, flipping another page in her architectural digest like I was reading her spam mail. Then she added, maybe your sister dropped it. Didn't she visit last month? Which was a neat little lie, considering my sister lives in Arizona and hasn't been inside our house in over a year. I nodded and said nothing. That's when I started building what I now call the board. Not a real corkboard with red string or anything. Just mental notes. Incidents. Patterns. Because if there's one thing I've learned working in IT for 15 years, it's this. Data doesn't lie. People do. So I started watching. Listening. Collecting. Andrea changed her car's oil 2 weeks early. Which might not seem like a clue, unless you know that I'm the one who always does the maintenance. Then she started drinking oat milk, and she hates oat milk. She's called it liquid sadness. So why was there a new carton in the fridge? Then came the credit card. We don't have a joint account. We believe in separate finances, but we do have a shared Amazon login. She forgot to log out. And you know what I saw in the purchase history? A leather toiletry bag. Men's. Shipped to her office. Gift wrap included. I didn't say a word. Just logged out. At this point, I wasn't even angry. I was detached. Like watching a slow train wreck you're not even sure you want to stop. I think that's what happens when you start realizing your life has a secret side quest you didn't get invited to. But I needed more. I needed the thing. The undeniable proof. Something Andrea couldn't dance around or explain away. I didn't want to fight. I wanted clarity. And clarity, as it turns out, would arrive thanks to the city parking department and a little piece of mail she forgot to intercept. If you'd asked me a month ago how I'd find out my wife was cheating, I'd have guessed the usual suspects: lipstick on a shirt, sketchy texts, or maybe some coworker accidentally calling her babe. What I didn't expect was that it would come from the City of Columbus Parking Violations Bureau. Yep, leave it to bureaucracy to blow up my marriage. It started with a white envelope in our mailbox. No logo. Just one of those generic, pre-printed deals that screams junk mail or jury duty. I was about to toss it when I saw it was addressed to Andrea, but under her maiden name. Which was weird. She hasn't used that name since 2016, unless it's for subscription coupons she doesn't want traced. Curious, I held it up to the light. Official seal inside. All right, fine. I opened it. Judge me all you want. If you lived with a woman who suddenly started sleeping like a corpse and treating you like a coworker from accounts payable, you'd open the envelope too. And there it was. A $95 parking ticket. Issued on a Tuesday at 4:42 p.m. downtown. Lot number 3, 155, South Front Street. Violation. Parked in a permit-only space. Now here's the thing. I know that lot. It's next to a building that used to be a corporate co-working space but recently got bought and turned into a boutique gym. You know, the kind where rich dudes go to lift exactly 3 times and then sit in a eucalyptus sauna. Andrea doesn't work anywhere near there. Her office is up by Goodale. She's never gone to a gym in her life. She used to call people who do burpees attention seekers in spandex. So what the hell was she doing there? I let that one marinate for a few days. Didn't bring it up. Just added it to the board. Then, fate handed me round 2. A few days later, I get a call from our dry cleaner, the local spot we've used since we moved into the neighborhood. The guy says, "Hey Christian, your suit's ready." I didn't drop off a suit. I haven't worn one since my cousin's wedding in April. I ask, which one? He says, the navy 2-piece. Armani. Dropped off by Andrea? Said it was yours. My heart starts pounding. I only own one suit. It's gray. I hate navy. Hate it. Makes me look like an off-duty valet. So now I'm standing in a strip mall parking lot with a dry cleaner telling me my wife is dropping off suits that don't exist. I go in to pick it up. It's a navy 2-piece all right. Slim fit, clearly custom tailored. I look at the name tag inside the jacket. It says Ashford. Just like that. Capital letters. One word. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ash. From the calendar. But see, that wasn't the aha moment. That came when the dry cleaner, cheerful as ever, said, "She told me to put it under your account. Hope you don't mind, man. I figured she's your wife." Oh, I minded. A lot. But I smiled, thanked him, and walked out with the suit bag over my shoulder like I was headed to prom. I didn't confront her that night. She was already in bed. Not sleeping, just laying there with her back to me, pretending to be unconscious like she always does now when the conversation might get real. The next day, she left early for a training session. I checked the closet. Her gym bag was gone. That's when I made the decision. I drove straight downtown to that permit lot. Now, I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe the building was a restaurant. Maybe Ash was just a stupid name for a conference room. Maybe I was losing my mind. But no. There it was, Ashford and Keene, Boutique Investment Group. 6th floor. Big shiny glass logo. Modern lobby. Coffee machine fancier than my car. And posted on the front wall, a team photo. Front row, in a navy suit, with that toothpaste commercial smile. Ashford. 30-something, slick hair, Rolex tan. And standing next to him, hand on his shoulder like she owned stock in him, Andrea. Not even trying to hide it. Like it was completely normal to have your wife on someone else's LinkedIn page looking like she just got proposed to in Monaco. Now here's where it gets better. I asked the front desk if I can drop off something for Andrea since I'm her husband. The receptionist, sweet, chatty, not paid enough for any of this, says, "Oh, Andrea? She's upstairs right now with Mr. Ashford. Do you want me to let her know you're here?" I just smiled. "Nah," I said. "Don't want to interrupt. whatever it is they're working on. She laughed like I'd told a joke. I thanked her and walked out before I could torch the whole place with sarcasm. That night, Andrea came home late. Again. I was on the couch. She kissed my head like I was a golden retriever. Long day, she mumbled. Bet it was, I said. That guy Ashford. Does he wear that navy suit every day? Or does he have a few in rotation? She froze mid-step. I watched the blood drain from her face like I'd turned down the brightness on her. What? Just curious. Armani fits him well. Slim cuts good on his frame. And I mean, hey, I'm paying for the dry cleaning. Might as well admire the merchandise. She didn't speak. She didn't even deny it. Just stared at me like she was waiting for a car crash that already happened. I didn't give her the satisfaction of an argument. Just stood up, patted her shoulder, and walked upstairs. You know when the moment flips? When you go from, how could you, to why did I ever care? That was my moment. I knew. I didn't need an affair confession. Didn't need screenshots or audio tapes. Ashford and a parking ticket did the job just fine. Now it was time for me to do mine. Revenge? Oh, it's coming. And I promise you, it's going to be clever. You know that moment in a poker game when someone pushes all their chips to the center and everyone holds their breath? That was me the following Sunday. Except my chips weren't cash, they were facts. Parking tickets. Suit labels. A printed calendar she forgot to shred. And the fact that I knew exactly who Ashford was, right down to the Rolex tan, and that I owned 3 condos and a Tesla kind of smile. But I didn't come to the table swinging. That's the mistake most people make. You blow up too early, you give the other side room to spin, cry, lie, regroup. I didn't need a confession. I needed control. So I waited for the right time. Sunday night. We just finished dinner. She made salmon, overcooked it, didn't apologize. I complimented it anyway, just to add some confusion to the air. She was in a bathrobe, sipping her second glass of white wine and scrolling her phone like I didn't exist. Hey, babe, I said casually. I'm thinking about switching dry cleaners. Ours mixed up a suit. She glanced up. Huh. Yeah, I said, pulling the navy Armani from behind the couch. They put this under my account. Pretty sure it's not mine, unless I've been sleep buying GQ subscriptions. Her eyes locked on the bag like it was a dead body. That's a client's. I offered to. I raised my hand. Save it. She stopped. Open mouth, no words. Is it Ashford's? I asked. Calm. So calm I surprised myself. Or does he just go by Ash? She blinked. Swallowed. Said nothing. I like his building, by the way. Sleek elevator. Nice front desk girl. Really helpful. Now she stood up. Too fast. Too obvious. What were you doing there? I could ask you the same thing, I said. But let's cut to the chase. I pulled the parking ticket from my back pocket, unfolded it slowly like a magician revealing the final card. You parked there on the 14th. 4:15 meeting. Same day you said you had that emergency strategy session, remember? When you canceled dinner with my parents? I can explain, she said, reaching for the ticket. I pulled it back. I'm sure you can. You've been explaining a lot lately. The late nights. The gym memberships. The oat milk. She blinked again. What? You hate oat milk. But Ashford drinks it, doesn't he? Same way you suddenly started watching those financial podcast clips at breakfast. What was it last week? Something about diversifying passive capital through joint ventures. I shook my head. You were quoting him. You don't even realize you've been parroting the guy. Christian. I'm not mad, I cut in. I mean, I was. But now? I'm just disappointed that the person I married didn't have the guts to come clean. You didn't cheat on me with a man. You cheated on me with a lifestyle. That one landed. I saw it hit her right behind the eyes. Is this really how you want to handle this? She said, crossing her arms, defensive now. Throwing out accusations like you're some detective? Oh, honey, I said, with a smirk. I don't need to be a detective. You handed me the clues like you wanted to get caught. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, she said, stepping closer. It started out innocent. Yeah? So do cults. And diet sodas. Christian, I was unhappy. No, you were bored. Big difference. You didn't talk to me. You didn't try. You just found a shinier object. And look, maybe I could have forgiven you if you'd been honest. But you weren't. You kept coming home, eating dinner with me, sleeping in our bed. Like I was your backup plan. Andrea's face shifted from guilt to something else. Panic, maybe. Or the sudden realization that I wasn't begging, crying, or raging. I was composed. I was ahead. That scared her more than any yelling ever could. So what now? She asked, arms dropping to her sides. You just gonna throw away everything? All these years? Funny, I said. You threw it away first. I'm just the guy taking out the trash. And then I turned and walked upstairs, leaving her alone in the kitchen with her wine, her robe, and 1,000 bad decisions. That night, I didn't sleep in our bed. I didn't yell. Didn't cry. I lay on the guest bed with the ceiling fan humming above me, planning. Not how to win her back. Not how to catch her in more lies. No. I was planning part 4. Because if Andrea thought she'd seen the end of this story, she was about to find out just how clever the man she married really is. And trust me, this next move? It's gonna be surgical. Revenge is funny. Not the Hollywood kind, not slashed tires or ruined wedding dresses. I'm talking real revenge. The kind that doesn't make a mess. The kind that lets the other person clean up their own. I didn't need to destroy Andrea. I just needed to return her to reality. And reality doesn't come with candlelit dinners or his and hers gym bags. It comes with consequences. So here's what I did. Step 1. The lease. Andrea's name wasn't on the house. That was always a point of tension, and something she conveniently forgot when she decorated the whole place like a Pinterest board threw up. When we bought it, her credit wasn't great. So I bought the house myself, in my name only. The plan was to refinance once things evened out. They never did. So, I made one call to my buddy Mike, real estate attorney, golf partner, and occasional bourbon supplier. Mike drafted up a notice of vacate for Andrea. Nothing dramatic. Just legal. 30 days notice. Certified letters sent to her work. To her attention. At Ashford and Keene. Step 2. The finances. Remember how Andrea always said she didn't want to commingle our accounts? Said it was empowering to have her own income? Perfect. Because the joint credit card we did share? The one I never really used, but always paid on time? I canceled it. Immediately. Sent her a courtesy text. You might want to check your Chase app. Just cleaning up some loose ends. Loose ends, indeed. Step 3. The presentation. This was the fun part. Her birthday was coming up. Big 3 to 5. She had planned this little rooftop dinner thing, close friends, some coworkers, cocktails with names like Grapefruit Euphoria. She asked if I'd still go, weeks earlier, before the confrontation. I said, of course. Then I RSVP'd to the group chat. Looking forward to it. Got a great surprise planned for Andrea. And oh, I did. The night of the dinner, I showed up a few minutes late. Perfect timing. She was already 3 drinks in, hugging people she barely liked. Her dress was new. Her nails were done. Her life, for that brief moment, was intact. Until I handed her the envelope. Open it, I said, smiling. She laughed nervously. What is this? Your birthday gift, I said. I didn't want to wrap it. Everyone quieted down. People leaned in. She opened it and pulled out 3 things. A copy of the parking ticket with the calendar printout stapled to it. A photo of her and Ashford from the company website. The letter from my lawyer. Notice to vacate. She didn't even finish reading. Just stared at me like I'd spit in her wine. I figured I'd give you a head start, I said. 30 days should be enough, right? You've always been great at moving on. The silence? Absolute. Someone dropped a fork. Someone else whispered, holy SH, and cut themselves off. Andrea looked at me like I'd just taken her mask off in front of a crowd. Christian, she whispered, like she was trying to cue the act back on stage. Not here. Oh, but this is the perfect place, I said, still smiling. You always said you loved a good view. Here's one. Everyone now sees who you really are. She stormed off. People looked at me like I'd lit a firework in a library. I took a sip of water, nodded to her coworkers, and walked out. Did I feel like a villain? Nope. I felt like a janitor, just cleaning up the mess someone else made. Step 4. The switch. Remember that gym membership she signed up for? I had already transferred the auto debit to her account. Her streaming services? Cancelled. Passwords changed. She can go split a Netflix with Ashford, assuming he's into anything other than finance documentaries and mirror selfies. I kept the house. Kept the friends who mattered. Even my dog seems to like me better now. And the cherry on top? Andrea's promotion at Ashford and Keene? Turns out, office romances don't play well when they're exposed. Especially when HR finds out they were sleeping together before he promoted her. 2 weeks after the rooftop dinner, I heard from a mutual friend that Andrea was on sabbatical. Which is corporate speak for, we're not saying she was fired, but she definitely doesn't work here anymore. Turns out, Reality has a way of showing up uninvited. I didn't need to scream. Didn't need to make a scene. I just needed to show her the truth in front of an audience. And now? Now I sleep just fine. Because revenge isn't about ruining someone's life. It's about removing yourself from the wreckage and letting them sit in the ruins they built. You'd think after all that, the rooftop takedown, the HR fallout, the lawyer letters, Andrea would have gone full ghost. Nope. For days after her birthday bombshell, I got a text. Andrea, we need to talk. Please. Not angry. Not defensive. Just desperate. I ignored it. Next day, she called. Twice. Then 3 more times. Left a voicemail I didn't even bother listening to. If I wanted to hear half-truths and fake apologies, I'd rewatch our wedding video. Day 5, she showed up. I was out back mowing the lawn. Sun was low, sky all orange and dramatic like it was helping with the scene. I saw her through the fence, standing on the porch in jeans and a t-shirt like she thought dressing normal would rewind time. I killed the mower. Walked over. Didn't say a word. She held a manila folder. Paperwork. Always paperwork. Can I come in? She asked. I just looked at her. I'm not stopping you. She took that as a yes. Of course she did. Inside, she hovered near the kitchen counter like a stranger at an open house. Didn't sit. Didn't take off her shoes. I want to explain, she started. I raised a hand. Nope. Let's not do that. She blinked. You don't even want to hear. I've already heard enough. Parking ticket. Dry cleaning. Corporate photo shoot. Remember? She nodded. I starting. So what's this really about? I asked. She paused. Deep breath. I messed up. No kidding. I got caught up in something. You mean someone? She flinched. Yeah, him. I thought it was real. And now? She looked down at her folder like it might help her lie better. He's not who I thought. I nodded. That's convenient. It wasn't just about him, she said. I was overwhelmed. I didn't feel seen. You know what's funny? I said. I spent 6 months feeling invisible in my own house. And I still never slept with my boss. Silence. I know I hurt you, she said finally. But we have history, Christian. We built a life. Doesn't that count for something? I let that hang in the air. She wanted a yes. A maybe. A sign I was softening. But that part of me? Gone. You're not asking for a conversation, I said. You're asking for a reset. You want the benefit of a history you walked out on. Her voice cracked a little. So that's it? Just like that? No, not just like that. It took me months of thinking something was wrong with me. I blamed myself for your distance, your silence. I read articles, listened to relationship podcasts, thought I wasn't doing enough. She opened her mouth. I kept going. But the whole time, you were playing house with someone else while I was out here trying to fix a ghost. She swallowed. It wasn't just physical. Oh, I know. That's what makes it worse. Another pause. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said. I'm shiny now. I just didn't want the last word between us to be public. I tilted my head. So this is about your reputation. It's about us. I laughed. That dry, tired kind of laugh you make when someone trips over their own logic. There is no us, I said. There's just you. And the consequences. She shifted. The silence stretched again. Then she slid the folder toward me. What's this? Documents, she said. My stuff's out. The movers are coming Tuesday for the rest. I had them send everything to storage. I'm not fighting for the house. I opened the folder. Final separation paperwork. Clean and signed. You want me to sign this now? I asked. No, she said. I just wanted you to know I'm not dragging this out. I'm not going to turn into one of those nightmare exes. That's funny, I said. I already had that experience. Her name's Andrea. She winced. Finally sat down. You don't believe in second chances? She asked. Nope. I believe in patterns. And you've shown me yours. She was quiet. Then she stood. Well, if you change your mind. I won't. She nodded again, slowly this time. Like she finally understood this wasn't a phase. Wasn't a dramatic moment I'd cool off from. I walked her to the door. Held it open. You were right about one thing, I said. What's that? We did build a life. And now I get to build a better one without you in it. She stepped outside. Turned once, like she wanted to say something else. Then thought better of it. She left. And this time, I didn't watch her walk away. I closed the door. Locked it. And didn't feel sad. Just done. You ever clean out a garage that hasn't been touched in years? That's what life felt like after Andrea moved out. Dust, old junk, maybe a dead mouse hiding in a box you haven't opened since the Obama administration. You start by dreading it. Then you find some weird stuff you forgot you even had. By the time you're done, you're wondering why you didn't do it sooner. That was me 2 weeks post-Andrea. The movers came, took the last of her stuff. I didn't supervise. I didn't even peek out the window. Whatever she left behind was either going in the trash or on Facebook Marketplace. I sold the Peloton. She rode it twice. Some guy named Craig from Lancaster picked it up for $400 cash and a handshake. Felt like a ritual cleansing. The house got quieter, cleaner, lighter, even. Not spiritually. Literally, fewer shoes, fewer throw pillows, fewer passive-aggressive sticky notes about putting the toilet seat down. First night truly alone, I sat on the back deck with a beer, watched the sun go down, and waited to feel something. Didn't cry. Didn't smile either. I just exhaled. It was the first real breath I'd taken in months. I started noticing things. How often I used to walk on eggshells. How my jokes had gotten safer. Less me. How I'd stopped talking halfway through a story because I could feel her tuning out. That's the part nobody tells you about a bad marriage. How invisible you start to feel in your own skin. People called. Friends. My brother. Even her cousin, who'd heard about the birthday thing and called to say, honestly, man, I always thought she was full of it. A few of her friends reached out, too, checking in, hoping I was okay, which I translated as taking inventory to report back. I kept it polite. Short texts. No drama. Word must have gotten around, because Ashford blocked me on LinkedIn. Tragic. The guy's probably still out there telling people he's misunderstood, that Andrea was in a tough place, and whatever else men with expensive watches say when they ruin someone else's marriage on a Tuesday. I didn't care. He could have her. Turns out she wasn't mine to begin with, just on loan until a better offer came along. And me? Well, I didn't rush into some healing journey. I didn't run off to Costa Rica or start journaling in a hammock. I did something better. I lived. I ate what I wanted. Slept in the middle of the bed. Blasted Springsteen while fixing the cabinet she said we'd needed a guy for. I even reconnected with an old coworker, Jenna. We worked together 5 years ago. She used to make me laugh during meetings with her whispered commentary and unfiltered sarcasm. Turns out she's single now. We grabbed coffee. Then dinner. Then drinks that turned into a 3-hour conversation that felt like 5 minutes. I'm not rushing it. No grand declarations. Just letting life breathe again. And one night, after our third, not a date, Jenna asked, "So what happened with you and your ex?" I gave her the short version. She met a guy who made her feel shiny and new. I was the old furniture. She smiled. Well, the old furniture's usually the most solid. And I laughed. For real. You know what I learned through all this? You don't always get the closure you want. You get the clarity you need. Andrea's chapter in my life didn't end with some Hollywood speech or handwritten apology. It ended with a parking ticket, a dry cleaner, and a birthday party she'll never forget. She wanted someone flashier. Someone newer. Someone who made her feel special. And now? She gets to keep him. But me? I got my life back. And this time, I'm not sharing it with someone who treats love like a limited-time promotion. I'm not bitter. Just wiser. The house is mine. The peace is mine. The story, this whole ridiculous, painful, strangely liberating story, is mine. And if Andrea ever circles back someday with that, "I've changed" look, I'll smile, tip my hat, and say the 2 most powerful words I've learned since she left. Not anymore. Subscribe to the channel